I just feel like I'm excited and I feel relaxed and I'm ready to party with the best of them. And I'm gonna go down to the river.
Wow, it looks like somebody's really relaxing now. Yeah, wow.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Wine Talks Podcast. How y'all doing today?
I'm doing well.
Doing well.
I'm here with the lovely
Jesus.
and the gorgeous.
Darlene.
Yay! Recovering from another Monday of hell.
Yes.
Also recovering from a weekend from hell as well.
if you must know the truth.
If you were there, you'd know.
You know, that's only like the first 3 levels of hell, and those are the fun levels.
Oh my goodness. Well, we'll go ahead and give a little snippet. So Davina and I are getting married in 2 weeks. And we had our bachelor party this weekend.
Daisy was amazing to throw it for us.
Yes. And let's just say it got wild and crazy.
Like it's supposed to happen.
It was like a Spanish telenovela, pretty much.
If you were there and you listen, you keep those secrets till you die, bitch.
Don't be judgeful. It happens.
You just gotta pretend that like we were in Vegas, and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So whatever happens at Daisy's house, just leave it there. Because it does not need to be released to
Do
the
not
world.
take it home with you.
So Daisy, what are we talking about this week?
So this week, I thought we would ponder of the things that society pushes on. Your biggest social pressure that you deal with on an everyday basis, and people come up to you and it bothers you, and you have to explain kind of why it bothers you.
Oh my gosh.
Does that stem from anything?
Yes, a lot of things.
I think for me, like the biggest pressure is to look good. That is so hard for me. I think especially being a gay man, like you think about...
Ha! I was just about to say that. Is it because you're gay?
You think about somebody being gay and you immediately think of like this hot, gorgeous, hunkalicious...
Gym rat.
Yeah, gym rat. And you're like, oh, he
And maybe not
has to
even
be
muscles
gay.
and stuff, but a lot of like thinner guys and stuff.
Those guys at the party!
Yes, definitely. We just recently went to a party and it was just like that. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I have to look. Like, I don't know, I just feel like, especially, I think maybe it's just being a man and then also being gay on top of that. You always think of like gay men, you know, being ripped. And even if they're not ripped, like that being said,
thin.
you know, they're thin and they're always they always have to be dressed nice and everything. And it's just...
Okay, you get the pressures of both a guy and a girl. Best of both worlds.
Exactly. There you go.
One time, we also went to a party, and it was one of my friend's parties out in Ogden, and there was this guy there, was a complete toolhead. He was an idiot. And he tells Jesus is like sitting there talking, just mingling, having fun. And he goes, so you're gay? To Jesus, and Jesus is like, yeah. And he goes, well, aren't gay people supposed to be like skinny and in shape? And it's just like,
What the fuck?
Okay.
I was like, well, I guess I'm the exception. Because, yeah.
Did he really say that shit to
Really
you?
Oh, yeah.
did, yeah.
And then he ended up kicking a dent in his ass, his freaking car.
Yeah. He got mad at me because I blew him off, and I was like, first of all, I don't even know you, so I'm just gonna stop talking to you right now. And then he got into a fight, blah, 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 with somebody else at the party, went outside, and my car was parked right in front of the house, and what does this freaking jerk do? He goes ahead and he punches a dent into my car.
Oh my god. Did you
I
Did
was
you go and
so-
crash his light? Because I
was
totally
mad.
would have.
He
You know
like
where he went?
booked it. Yeah, we didn't know where
We didn't even know
went.
he cooked a dent. We didn't even know he like made a dent into the car because we went out later that night. Because he did it at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we ended up leaving there at like
Wait
1.
a minute. Isn't your car a Prius? Doesn't it it's plastic? Doesn't it just bounce back?
I wish it freaking left.
I opened the door, I was like,
And I was like, why is my door doing that? And he's like, I don't know. And so he closes it and opens it back up, and it just... And I'm like, wait, hold on. And then that's when I went outside to see, and I was like, this mother trucker.
So how'd you know it was him?
Because it happened right when he left. Like, when
He's
he
the only
left, we
idiot
heard
that
this
did it.
big noise. And I was like, what was that? And we were like, whatever. Like, he's out. He probably just fell. He's drunk.
yeah.
And then a couple minutes later is when we went outside and saw that my
So
freaking
moral of the
car was
story,
good.
if you go to a party, park your car around the corner. But
Pretty
yeah,
much.
so that guy was just a complete a-hole.
But I think for me that's the biggest pressure. I feel like you always have to look good. Like I even had a freaking coworker the other day go through my Instagram and was like, "You were so skinny. What happened? You look way better like that." And I was like, "That is the biggest compliment I've never gotten in my life." I was like, "You're a freaking jerk." I'm just like, and I think it's like, I don't know. I just feel
Why
like.
do people do that? Why do people
don't know.
feel the need to say, "Oh, you look so good in this picture"? Well, bitch, I look good now. What the hell's the problem with
Exactly.
me?
And they try to like backfire and we're like, I mean, you look good now, but I'm just saying, like, you looked better before. I was like, that was the worst save ever. So
Let me take that shovel
Those are
from
frenemies.
you. Yeah.
Don't.
But no, I think that for me that's probably one of the biggest pressures for me. I feel like the need to always look and I don't think be presentable because I feel like I always try to keep myself presentable. But yes, I'm not in the best shape that I can. And I feel like sometimes society puts that on you. Like you don't ever go to the store and you see somebody, your size or, your body weight on the freaking posters. You go to the store and you see all these ripped guys with their shirts falling off of them, like their six packs showing through their shirts, and you're just like,
I think beauty comes in all shapes and sizes.
I'm gonna
though.
say, honey, those are Photoshop. Even they don't look that good in real
Right?
life.
They look at those and they're like, wait, how do I look that good?
Yeah, like, was it like the filter?
like no, we just threw those six packs in there.
You didn't
So-
have it, so we had to make it up.
That's actually one thing I have a problem with. I follow this person on Snapchat, and I follow her Snapchat story all the time. And she sits here and she talks about how you should feel comfortable in your own skin, how you should look beautiful, how you should know that you are blah, 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 whatever. And she sits there and she uses a filter the whole time she Snapchats. And the way that I know what it is because sometimes she'll move. And on Snapchat now where you can like move slightly and the filter will go away. And then
Oh,
once you make contact again,
yeah.
it'll do it again.
Yeah.
But she uses the one that thins out her face. And but I mean, I'm okay with that because I like using filters or like whatever. But like, don't preach, practice what you preach if you're gonna preach it. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't know.
So what about you guys?
My biggest social pressure is having children.
Oh, that is true.
Like my husband and I, we have been married for a year. We've been dating for 4 going on 5 years, and by far the biggest push that we get is, when are you guys gonna have children? Why don't you guys want to have children? You should have children. Let me know when you get that child.
Yeah.
And
especially
it's
in Utah.
constant. It's so constant. Every day, I get at least one customer who tells me that if when I'm gonna have my children, and I've had constant customers who keep coming back, and they'll just be like, "Oh, I just wanted to let you know about the beauty of children," and it's like, I understand children are beautiful, but they're not beautiful for everybody.
Yeah.
And I get that a lot. Today, I had a customer say, "Let me know when you get pregnant. I'll give you a gift," and it's not an accomplishment to me. I mean, having children might be good for somebody else, but it's not something that I want in my life. Or having to explain myself whenever I say I don't want children, and people are like, "Why?" And it's like, well, people don't ask you, like, for example, if you were gonna go get a car, people don't say, "Oh, why didn't you get a Toyota?"
Right.
When you get your car, you just get the car that you want, and nobody asks you why you didn't get that other kind. So I feel that same way. My marriage is built this way. Why do you ask why I don't want that?
Right.
That
I
makes
just
sense.
simply
It's
don't.
almost like asking you, why did you want kids? Like give me a good enough reason to want kids. I had a friend recently who had a kid, and she was talking, about how amazing it was. And I feel like a lot of people who get pregnant, they do think that some people don't, some people do, but they're like, the whole experience was wonderful and stuff. But she posted something that I was like not okay with.
Oh, yeah.
She posted and she said that it was God's duty that she had kids. And I was like, is it though? I mean, I totally understand that women can have kids and that is something that's beautiful. But is that really like your purpose in life? Like is that what people think nowadays? That like, I'm a woman, I must have kids. Like I'm
It's
sorry.
a religious thing.
And I'm sorry, but I feel like there's
think so.
some girls who I look at and I'm like, you should not be a mother. I see the way that they treat their kids. I see the way that they neglect them. I see the way that they speak to them, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, but you should not have had a kid. If you're gonna treat them, if you're gonna hit them, if you're gonna go ahead and not feed them every night, You know what I mean? And you're right. I feel like kids are an amazing thing, but they are definitely not for everyone. It's like saying you have to buy a cat for somebody who hates a cat. You know what I mean? Or somebody who says, you have to have a pet when they don't like pets.
I think it's been the norm for so long that people don't know that there's other ways to live your life.
Mm-hmm.
That you don't have to have a kid. Once I had a person ask me, well, what are you going to do when you're old? Who's going to take care of you? And I was so shaken because in my mind, I was thinking, is that the only reason you had kids? So that you have somebody to look out for you? I'm sorry, girl. I got Social Security and I got a pension plan. I'm going to be living in one of those elderly homes. That's what I'm going to do. Because if your safe retirement plan is to have a child, you should not have a child for that reason.
See, but it's also to the thing where I feel like also like, what's it called? What's it called? No, like Hispanics, Caucasians. Your culture. There you go. Like your culture comes in. I'm sorry. I was like, what I was like ethnicity. Like,
This is the wine actually talking now.
I feel like it really is your culture though, because it wasn't until I'm from Mexico, and it wasn't until I came to the U.S. that I even found out of such a thing as elderly homes and nursing homes, because like I've never heard of like that in Mexico. Like your parent starts getting older, and they move in with you, and you take care of them. Whereas like here, I feel like a lot of people just immediately are like, you know what, my parents can't take care of themselves. I'm just gonna nursing home.
But it's
And
so
I'm
much
like-
better if you think about, well, some families is better. And because I've seen some families, some Mexican families, Latino families taking their elder and they're super sweet to them. But I've also seen a lot of elderly abuse within those same communities where they get either annoyed or irritated because they have to take care of dad and they have to change their diapers or whatever it may be, that they become so irritable with them that they no longer treat them nice.
That is
And
true.
I hope that I never come to that point with my own mother or my father, but if it does, I'd rather pay a stranger to treat them better than for me to mistreat them. I know it sounds horrible, but I feel that if those are the last days of their lives, then somebody should treat them right.
There's also an equal amount of elder abuse in hospitals like that though, as well. There's a
That's
lot of
true.
facilities that do not respect elders for like
Yeah.
actual people.
Do
you
your
know what I mean?
research, make sure that
Yes, for
you're,
sure. Yeah.
you know,
I mean, because there
whatever
are
it may be.
obviously there are, and there are some nurses who care about their jobs and actually joined the field to make people's lives better. So
And you always have to know that one solution doesn't fit everybody, but
Right.
I feel that in my opinion,
that would be yours.
That would be-
What you want, that's what you.
that's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have a kid just so that I have a place to retire. Like, shit.
Right.
If I have a kid, if I ever decide to have a kid, it's because I want to love a
I
kid
mean-
and I have everything that I could give that kid.
Right.
When I'm too old to get my ass off at the couch, my kid better be grabbing me a glass of wine. That's all I gotta say.
Well, it's okay. I got really good friends who have kids. They can take care of me. Be like, Auntie Daisy's coming over.
we told Daisy, we always tell Daisy, we said, if David and I ever have kids, you're gonna be like, you're gonna be the godmother. I'm like, when we can't handle him or her anymore, we're gonna be like, Daisy, your grandchild is coming your way. So she goes, well, he or she better behave, because otherwise he's going right back.
You're gonna be like, Daddy, Auntie Daisy hit me. Be like, what did you do? That's the real question here. What did you do to piss her off? Did you forget to give her wine?
See, but this is the thing, though.
Be like, yeah, she forgot.
See, but when Daisy's first starting to be introduced to our kids and they start remembering kind of who she is, we're gonna be like, your Auntie Daisy's coming over. Aw, the one who likes to drink a couple glasses of wine and I have to keep getting them. Yes,
Yes.
her.
That's her. The only one.
Oh god. When I had to take my nephew back to Mexico and we were playing board games and then we have a rule for Damien. We had a rule. The rule was he had to literally count out his spaces out loud because he doesn't really know how to count in English yet. So he would skip or he would try to skip a space. And I'd always get so pissed and I'd give him this look, right? And so we were playing this board game with the rest of the kids and they don't know me, right? Damien's spent the whole year with me. And Diego does this thing where he skips one thing and I look at him and he's like, what? what? And Damien's like, Auntie Daisy likes you to count out loud so you don't skip your points.
You're gonna be that
Like, he just knew what I was thinking, and I was like, that's right. Damien, tell them the rules. And educate them, please, okay? Like, this is what it is.
Oh my goodness.
So that's how your kid's gonna be like, I just give him the stare and he's gonna know. He's gonna know.
Our kids are gonna have like a love-hate relationship with Daisy. They're gonna be like, Auntie Daisy! And then they'll come back out and be like, oh, Auntie Daisy.
That's the same relationship I have with my nephew, so it'll work out.
That's the same relationship we have with you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh shit, where's my white bottle? I'm leaving. Oh wait, shit, that's yours.
I'll say just because you bought it doesn't mean you can take it. Once you bring it down.
It was
Shout out to Teresa and Rachel for supplying the wine for Wine Podcast this week.
Thank you for your donation.
It is going to great use. So what about you, Damien?
I think my biggest thing is, especially because I was raised in such a family where a man had to be a man. You have to be a man's man. You have to be able to fix shit. You have to be able to take care of the people around. Like, if you're in a relationship, you have to take care of that relationship, or anything like that. Even being gay, it was like, you're supposed to be a man. Especially, I think it's because like a lot of the values that my parents were raised with were a very Mexican culture, I guess, where it's like, men are men, gay is not allowed, all this stuff. But I don't even care about the gay thing. I mean, we both, like, Jesus and I both know that that's a pressure thing anyways, but that's not what I care about. What I'm saying is, like, the man thing is like, if something's wrong with your car, you have to be able to know how to fix it. If something goes wrong with your house, you have to be able to know how to fix it. Yeah, and like, that's one thing that
People
just
need
bothers me so
degrees
much.
for that kind of shit. You know that, right? Like, it's just people just don't know how to fix cars.
And yeah, that just like that always just bugged me. Or like the way you have to dress is manly, or like even something I was telling Daisy is like, if guys do their eyelashes, or if guys put on makeup, or if guys anything, it's like automatically.
Or even like the color. Like, I feel like a lot of people.
You don't like makeup?
I do.
You don't like makeup?
Not that I don't like it. I've never worn it or anything. Besides when I was in theater. Hey. But if you think about it though, like, it really is kind of like even like a simple color. Like, you see a guy wearing like a pink color and you're like, oh, he's gay, or like.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I went to the grocery store wearing a salmon colored, what is it, like a pink color, shirt, and so many people. And this certain grocery store is known for a lot of religious stuck-up people going to it. And everybody stared at me like I was seriously the devil himself walking through trying to find me some eggs and milk.
Yeah.
I think that's how I felt well, not that I'm
Against
comparing
me.
being...
Thank you. I'm just kidding.
Not that I know how it's like to be gay, because I'm not. But when I went to Georgia, Georgia, my sister lived there, when I had my hair colored a bright purple, and I swear to God, everybody looked at me like I had a fucking third eye. Is that how you felt?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
no. Yes, completely.
Like, you could just feel it on you. Like, and it wasn't the good kind of stare. It was the bad kind of stare. Not the, he's hot.
Yeah.
And it was the, what kind of demon spawn is she? You know, that kind of stare.
Purple hair? That is blasphemy.
Yeah. And I had my piercings too, so I'm sure it looked like the
May
devil.
the power of Christ compel your ass, bitch. That's what-
And I was like, you're too fat to chase me, bitch.
Oh my God.
Daisy be throwing some shade. No, it's so
Anyways,
true.
is that what you felt?
No, that's no. Seriously, I walked through, and I don't even remember. I called one of my best friends, and she was like, "Dude, because she has a lot of tattoos, and she lives right by that grocery store, so that's how I knew she went there. Bunch of tattoos. She had her lip pierced at one time, and single mom, blah blah blah. And she's like, I walk through there, and people seriously just make me feel so uncomfortable.
But you know
And
what,
it's
though?
ridiculous.
You know what? I bet some little closet ass boy in there saw you,
Oh, yeah,
and
those
he's
boys.
like, I want to be like him when I grow up.
Exactly. I don't know.
No, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Because that's how I
you
was
have
though
to-
when I was younger.
You have to be the oddball so that maybe you're breaking wind. Not wind.
Oh my god, I didn't even catch that.
I got the cheese.
Walking around the store like,
Breaking it.
Alright.
Sorry, that turned a turn for the worse. But you have to be that one person that breaks the mold, so that other people can be more and more. You know what I mean? Salt Lake used to be what? The most Republican state in the world, and now they're calling it like the most democratic city
Well, it's even
in
been
Utah.
called
the-
like the gayest state in the world.
yeah, they call.
City,
Did you guys know
yeah.
that they call Salt Lake City the gayest city of
And
Utah?
so many people were oppressed here and couldn't come out and
So come
be who
on,
they wanted to.
come out to Utah. We got you. Well, just in Salt Lake. Don't go to like St. George.
You'll be burned.
You'll be burned.
I think it's true. I feel like everything now, I feel like especially because like I don't know, I feel like we're growing into something so completely different that I feel like we have to make it a norm that maybe what's not normal is okay. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a girl dressing all tomboyish, you know, people may look at her weird and it's like, I don't know, I always tell Naveen, the more you see things, the more it becomes okay. Like, you don't second guess when you see a straight couple holding hands, you know, like you see them in the store and
And that used to be not acceptable, okay? Back in the day, men or women could not hold hands. And now it's the norm.
Right, now it is the
You can see them
norm,
grinding
right?
on the club and they'll be fine.
Exactly. But it's like, also you think about it,
You
it's
can even
like,
show your ankles before dazing.
I know! You couldn't even show your ankles.
And now
That
I
would be
see
like
those
showing
bitches
your
every
clit.
day. Oh shit!
hey.
And I was like, here's the ankle, here's the knee, and here's the thigh.
Alright, I see the ankles every day, but I don't see the other thing. Don't worry, Nico.
But it's so true, and I always tell that being like it's almost like an uncomfortable thing because sometimes like when him and I go out, you know, we hold hands and stuff, and sometimes we see people.
That breaks my heart that you feel that way, though. Because
We
you should
sometimes-
be afraid to express your love no matter
I
where
think
you
so,
are.
and like I remember like one of our very first dates actually, Davin and I went ice skating, and we went ice skating, and you know it's kind of like a cute, you know, you're ice skating, you're holding your significant other, you're falling over.
So they don't fall on their
every
ass.
5 seconds, and like we were sitting there and there was literally a group of people that was just sitting there pointing at us, laughing at us, yelling fag, yelling like
Are
queer,
you serious?
like, you know.
Well, they were like teenagers, so they like would walk by and just be like, queer, faggot, like shit like that.
and it just became something that like
Asshole.
over the years like it is uncomfortable, and sometimes like we used to go
Let
to,
me at him.
we
I hate that.
we used to go to like the store or something, and we would choose we would choose not to hold hands just because, you know, we'd rather have people look at two guys just walking next to each other acting like friends rather than, you know, get the stares. And I remember I told Aveen one day, I was like, that's the thing though, I feel like we have to do it because people will go ahead and see that as something that's normal. I would want my kids to one day look at a gay couple or a lesbian couple or a straight couple and not look at them any different. Just to say, you know, those two people are holding hands. They
It
love
should
each
be a
other.
normal thing anyways. Like, that's one thing I've always heard is I want it to be a normal thing where you don't even have to come out anymore. Like, it's just like...
There was
So this might
an
be
actor.
fine.
What's the guy from The Hunger Games?
PETA?
PETA. Yeah, I don't know what his real name is. I forgot. But that's what he said. He said, I hope, because people were starting to come at him about him being gay, blah, blah. And he said, I dream of the day where if I'm gay, straight, lesbian, bisexual, queer, whatever, transsexual,
Doesn't matter.
I hope that it doesn't matter, that I don't ever have to say how it is right now where it's like, I am gay. Like, I feel like you don't have to come out and be like, I am straight.
Which
know
you
what I mean?
don't.
You don't. And so, I love that speech that he gave. I was like, oh, that is so true. I love it. Because I hope that one day
I remember
you
reading
can,
that.
you can
Mhm.
just be yourself and not have to come out and say, you know, something as stupid as I am smart, you know, or I am 5'2". Like, people would just be able to just say whatever. This is life.
What is that?
Yeah.
I
That was
do
quite the tangent. I mean, no, I mean, it's okay, though. It's true, but... Yeah.
This is what we do in our
But mine,
everyday
yeah,
life.
mine's just like I said, being men. But I feel like there's equal pressure on a woman to be like, you have to dress in heels, or you have to put makeup on every single day. You have to make sure you're wearing a dress. Your hair has to be perfect, and like it's the same thing for women as it is for men. I mean, I guess women get more of the brunt of it all because you have to, quote unquote, have to look a certain way. But even for a man, sometimes it's hard. It just
I think
be
it
like
depends on your
you have to
family.
be a manly man. Oh yeah, but anything depends on your family, whether how accepting or not they are. Because you have some families where they're just like, be you and we got your back 100%. And some
Yeah.
people are just like, you have to fit into this mold.
Because my mom was never like, you have to learn to cook. She was like,
And
if you want to learn to cook it. Because when I'm gone, nobody else is going to make it.
Mm-hmm. That's
You
what
know.
my
That's
mom
how
would
my
always say.
mom was too.
And mom would always say, you know, and there'd be days where I would not cook or anything, or I say, oh, I don't like what you're cooking. She'd be like, well, I feel sorry for you. The day that I'm gone, you're gonna eat nothing. And I was like, oh shoot. You know what I mean? I was like, dang.
My mother scared me so much, I learned how to cook all my favorite foods. I was like, before it's too late.
My mom used to tell my sisters, she was like, don't ever worry about you don't have to ever worry about getting a man. What I want you to be as independent as you can and do whatever you can for yourself so that way you don't ever have to depend on a man. Make sure that you get your own shit and stuff like that. I just think that was a cool thing that my mom was used to tell my
That's
sisters.
true. My dad taught me how to change my oil, and like all, you know, the super whatever
Right.
shit you're supposed to do to your car, like every now and then. Which of course I forgot as soon as I got married, because that's what husbands are for.
I told Abby and I said, I'll take care of the things at the house. You can just take care. Actually, he told me yesterday, he said, babe, your headlight's out. And I said, oh, will you help me? He goes, it's the easiest thing to fix. I'm like, I know. Well, I don't, but will you help me?
This is where he bait and switched me, though. He was like, I'll take care of the things at the house, and you can take care of this, like, the stuff where you have to fix stuff and stuff. And I go, okay, that sounds cool. Well, now 4 years into the relationship, I cook, I clean, I fix shit.
That's true. He was cooking today. Oh yeah.
Here's the thing though, that Venus like so picky about things where it's like, I'll be like, babe, what are we cooking tonight? He's like, we're gonna cook this. And I'm like, oh, what can I help you with? And he'll tell me, okay, do this for me. I start doing it. You're doing it wrong. It's okay, just leave it. I'll do it.
So do it wrong so you don't have to get put to be doing
Pretty
it.
much, like, I pretty much learned my lesson. Or same thing when it comes to like cleaning. I'll be cleaning something, doing something. He goes, that's not the way you're supposed to. Just leave it. I'll do it. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll do everything in this relationship.
Actually, earlier, he was like, I told him, before you start cooking, will you just wash the dishes really quick? And then he like starts washing them. I was like, you know what, it's okay, I can do them. And he just, okay. Didn't even hesitate. He was just like, all right.
In my defense, I cooked tonight, so there you go. I did the cooking.
Did you? Because Davin was like stirring that shit when I came here. Like,
He
he
was
was lying to me.
He just made the pico
Yes.
de gallo.
Yes, he is. Yes, he's
Oh my
lying.
goodness, you're making me look. That's the thing too, though. Like, I'm not a good cook. Like, Davin will search up recipes and he'll be like, "Today we are having this creme brulee with this side of," and I'm like, so I can make you an egg if you want me to.
Yeah, right. I'm more like, I'm boiling some spaghetti and making a hamburger. Whatever. Here's some Tabasco and garlic.
In the words of Angela Johnson, I'm just not fancy.
So I could do some Maruchan.
Yeah, seriously. So based off of that conversation, though, what would be your advice for this generation? Not just for this generation, like altogether.
We could probably also make that our weekly advice, though.
A weekly
exactly.
advice?
Yeah, our weekly
Yeah,
advice.
but also let's make it towards, like you said, this generation.
My advice is be the weirdo that stands out. Be the one that's different. Be the one that gets pointed out. Because you don't know who's watching you. And you don't know who example you're setting.
I love that.
Actually, I'm gonna go next. I feel like that's my exact same advice because I one time
You can't
heard.
give the same advice.
This is the second week in a row he stole my advice. Did you
I
notice that
know,
shit?
yeah,
Okay.
dang.
I know we hang out and I'm cool now, but you can't steal my ideas.
It's because great minds think alike.
This
okay?
might as well be me and Daisy's podcast if you're gonna copy everything we say.
No, but really though, I actually have this quote on my Instagram one time that said, "Be the example that you needed when you were young." And that always stuck with me because I feel like growing up, I didn't really have somebody that I could say, you know, obviously parents, you know, because you always want to be like them and be able to have the love and the support from them. But I feel like I didn't have kind of a role model that I was like, I would look up to them and say, I wanna be like you. I aspire to be like you. And so when I saw that quote that said, "Be the person that you wish you had when you were younger," and I think that's it because I think you're right. Just be yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Whether you're gay, whether you're straight, whether you're, you know, a little bit heavier, whether you're thick and skinny, you know. Because sometimes I always felt like calling people skinny was a compliment. And some people that are skinny, and you tell them like, "Wow, you're so skinny," and they take that as if you were calling them fat.
I have a friend who is just like that.
You know what
She
I mean?
tries to gain weight, and people are like, "You're so skinny! Oh my gosh!" And she's like, "I don't like being told that."
And
try
and
to
I
make it
feel-
more general when you compliment people, you know, or try to make them not physical at all. Like
Yeah.
compliment somebody on their soul, on their mind.
So I think that's my advice. Always be yourself. Don't care about society. Like put society aside. Don't put even like your own family aside. Don't be afraid to disappoint people, because I feel like you will never ever be able to please everybody.
I think mine would probably be. I mean, ours are kind of also tying together, where it's like be yourself. But mine is more be you with the whole, like how I said, mine is my biggest insecurity is like be a man, be blah blah. So like, whoever you are, do what you want to do. If you're a man and you want to put on makeup, do it. If you're a woman and you don't want to do your hair and you want to shave it all off, do it. If you want to wear whatever clothes you want to do it. Don't be afraid to be and dress and act and do every freaking thing that you want to do in this world, because life, again, for the 20th time on this podcast, is too fucking short.
All together now.
It's true.
On different pitches.
Oh shit, I can't say.
Sit this one out, Daisy. We got this. Just beatbox in the
I'll
back.
be the beat.
No, but
But
it's
yeah.
true. But definitely, thank you guys so much for listening. We are still having our contest. We're going to go ahead and, because I know that we've been a little slacking on posting our podcast, we're going to extend it one more week. So we are going to go ahead and choose our winner the first week of October. So keep sharing, keep liking, keep tagging all of your friends. And every time that you comment, that you like, that you share, you get a point towards winning a movie basket with tickets to go watch a movie, your favorite movie treats. So make sure that you're sharing. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you so much for joining us, seriously, and holding out this long. We really appreciate it.
They're on episode 9, so that's super awesome.
Yes. So thank you and good night.
Bye.
Bye.